Hey everyone, Cone here, and welcome to A, the garage, but B, this is just going to be the kind of monthly vlog update thing. Today we are going to do a little project to have something on the background, but primarily we're going to be discussing Pax, because recently I went to Pax South, and there was a period there where my channel went dormant, and that was due to Pax South and things that I acquired at Pax South. All right, but today we're going to, on the Solstice, my daily driver, for the moment, I am going to try this headlight restoration system. Not sponsored. I paid $18 on Amazon for this, and we're gonna see if it will bring a little bit of life back into the headlights of this car. They're getting pretty bad, which is surprising to me. This car primarily sits in the garage for all but 10 hours a week. The times when it's not in the garage, it's out in a parking lot at night. So I'm really surprised that the headlights have gotten so bad, but I suppose it's not just the sun that causes them to go. So this particular kit is a drill-based system. Like, some of them are just polishing compound. You just, use a hand sander to get it on there and buffed and all that good stuff. This one uses a drill-based system, so it's got a little pad here that you actually sand the headlight material down and polish and buff it. It gives you a little package of compound in there as well. Now for this car, I am actually going to remove the headlights because it appears to be really, really easy. But that is in itself pretty boring as a video topic, but I thought it would be fitting for the video for today. I am honestly not even going to be focused on the camera. I'm just going to be walking around and talking. I have my own personal microphone and a GoPro recording that. Going to get lovely footage of a GoPro in my pocket because I have not been able to acquire a personal recorder yet. But we're going to try it out and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so yeah, I'm not even going to be framing this video or anything like that, but let's open up the hood. The hood, if I find it, there it is. So let's start talking about Pax. Left here, and I live in the Jacksonville area, left here on a Wednesday night, basically. It was very late on a Wednesday night, really heading into Thursday. Actually, I think I took a little clip of me leaving. Like, this is the time we left. The expected travel time was 16 hours, I believe. And that's, with no stops and all that good stuff. So I knew it was going to be quite a trip. It was myself and someone you guys might be familiar with if you really follow a lot of stuff here is Slagathor, the owner of the Mark II Supra, also wanted to go. So I suppose I should say why I wanted to go to Pax at all, and if you don't know what the heck Pax is, it's kind of, it's hard to describe. It's a gaming convention, but it's not like E3 where it's, there for industry news and that kind of stuff. And it's not even really a fan convention either that I could see. It's more something right in between that. So it's a little bit of industry stuff, and this one, Pax South, is very tiny. It is considered to be Pax Junior, or Pax Light. Headlight switch, oh, there it goes. Nice and easy. Come on. I said nice and easy. For me personally, though, I was going to this more for the opportunity to see a bunch of people that I would otherwise not be able to see, not be able to, hang out with in person. One of those being Kurt. Also, other new friends that I've made over the past few years were there. Nasia, Jamie was there. And then some of my, if I hesitate to use this word, but because they're fans of mine, but really they've become friends of mine over the years here. Yole was there, as well as Mock. So it was just going to be, you know, a good opportunity to get to see all of these people. So back on topic, left here with Slag in his lovely FJ, I almost said PT, FJ Cruiser. I think it is called Cruiser, isn't it? Yeah, I guess it is. In his lovely FJ Cruiser. Not my favorite vehicle in the world, and probably not the best road trip vehicle either. If you're thinking about buying one, keep in mind that although it is the shape of a SUV, it has virtually zero functionality in any way. It is uncomfortable. It is not very spacious. Like, there's not a ton of cargo space. It's got the silly suicide rear doors that, I mean, they work. They're effective, but trust me, you would not want to transport 4 people in this thing for extended periods of time. But be that as it may, the main issue with that is the fact that it has about 350, maybe that's pushing it, miles of range. So on this 1,000-mile, I think it was 1,060 miles was the end total journey, there's a lot of fuel stops. And from here to San Antonio, where Pax was, is a very, very long, boring stretch of I-10. So it was not a trip that I was looking forward to in any way. I was really hoping to have my new car by the time we got to this trip, so we could take it, which will be more fuel efficient than that, and I think more comfortable. But that didn't happen. We left at like, I now think it was like 8 p.m. I think it was actually getting closer to 9. He wanted to leave at 8 because Slag, works overnights, which I will soon be starting as well. So I figured, you know, he'll take the first stretch and I'll pick up the second stretch because I'll be able to, you know, at least somewhat sleep. Uh-oh, forgot one. Let's not break the headlight. That would be terrible. So yeah, he started the trip, and I would, you know, be able to somewhat sleep and finish up on the second leg. I should have known, and I pretty much did, that no sleeping was going to happen for me. And so it was, which was fine. I mean, I could do it. I'm still young enough to be able to pull, you know, all-nighters and stuff like that. And just having your eyes closed and just resting there is enough to recharge you to get going. The problem ended up being that, turns out, he is a terrible nighttime driver. Like, he cannot stay focused at night. Like, there's not enough going on. Maybe he could if I was able to, you know, be diligently awake the whole time and give him something to do, like someone to talk to. But it was pretty early. Well, first off, we hadn't even made it out of Florida, and a raccoon was killed, which freaked him out, freaked me out, because there was a very large swerve to try and miss it, and then a very traumatic thunk as he met the rear tire. So that was a good start to the journey. And then, headlight. And then after that, we made it through, he made it through Mobile, which is a pretty big city. But by that point, he was pretty much done with driving. He was like, I can't stay focused. I need you to take over. So mistake number 2 for me. Mistake number 1 was thinking I could sleep. Mistake number 2 was never driving this vehicle before hopping onto the highway with it. That was probably not the smartest thing I've ever done. Luckily, I mean, I've been driving cars for 10 years, 15 years. I don't want to think about it. And I guess it's 10 years. So, I mean, car is a car, right? It was fine. The only panic moment for me is the first time traffic got like real busy and I had to hit the brakes And, you know, it happens on the highway. Everybody brake checks. I brake checked the ever-living shit out of somebody because I hopped on the brakes thinking, you know, this is a big truck. It's going to take a lot of brake pressure. And that thing stopped, like, in such a hurry that the cars behind me were like, woo, diving out of the way not to hit me. I felt really bad. But other than that, the rest of the trip was incident-free. It's incredibly boring. And I don't know. I'd say I'd do it again, but I'd probably split it into two. Take a break, you know, halfway through, stop somewhere at a hotel or something like that. Texas is incredibly boring. The roads in Texas are really weird because the service roads, there's no on-ramps and off-ramps kind of situation. Instead, it's these bizarre service roads that, do a little camera turn here. Said camera turn, please. There we go. That run alongside the highway, and then just in random intervals, they do these sudden little jags onto the highway. Like it's not like the big run up of an on ramp and an off ramp like you have here and everywhere else I've seen. It's these little short, suddenly you're on the highway kind of deals, and those I could do without, to be honest. They were very strange and very annoying. But that's about the most interesting part of Texas, which sums it up. Houston is huge. Like, we drove through Houston, and that's a very large, impressive city that seems to sprawl on forever. Luckily, we went through at a non-peak traffic time, so it wasn't too bad. So about, let's see, let me make sure this is all still connected. We're good there. So we arrived in San Antonio on Thursday evening. It ended up being, I think, well, you gain an hour on the trip because you go over to the central time zone, which happened super early. I did not realize that. It happens in, like, Florida. I figured it would happen in, like, Louisiana. I guess I never looked at a map to see where the time zones were. That was a little surprising. I figured that would be much later. So that happened. So it was about 16 hours. It wasn't longer than expected. Maybe it was 17. I don't know. But it was like 4 o'clock when we got there. We were both exhausted. Kind of just sat around. I met Yole that night. And I think we went to dinner. Yeah, I went over. There's a mall in San Antonio right next to the hotel. It kind of connects the hotel area to the convention center. So yeah, we went in there. I wanted to find a which. Didn't happen because it was on a different level. And I got some crappy pizza. And that was pretty much it for that day. For me. Slide was there, and he was there he had his own friends there, so I pretty much just said, we'll go there and, we'll hop around PAX together and whatnot. Because he's only, I would say, vaguely into gaming. He's just recently really gotten into Overwatch, so that's about the biggest connection he has to all of it. And he is, he's a fan of Minecraft, but unfortunately those guys, other than Kurt, were not there, which was disappointing for me. But, partially, I've met those guys before, but, it'd be nice to hang out with them now that I know a lot of them a little bit better. And it was disappointing for me because I figured that's what he would be most excited about. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. But he seemed to have a good time. So that's good. Friday morning, we meet up with Kurt and Jamie, I believe, Yole and Mock. And very late into that day, we go to the actual convention. The convention itself, not what I expected. I knew it was going to be small. Everyone says it's, the smallest PAX. But man, it was way, way even smaller than I anticipated. I'm glad I didn't go there for PAX at all, because I would have been very disappointed, I think. I was there to see the people. And that was the good part, that was the great part. But PAX itself, I don't think I spent more than 30 seconds in any booth anywhere. Saw a couple panels. It was just like, I fully admit to, for most of this convention, being like the little puppy dog following people around, like, what do we do here? What are you doing? I'll go do that. So Kurt was going to a panel for Movies with Mikey, I think his name was, and it was funny. There was funny bits in it, but I didn't know what the heck was going on. On Sunday, I think Sunday, we saw a panel that was just like a Jackbox panel of a bunch of people on stage, you know, all playing Jackbox. And of them, I only knew Kate, who was there. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Kate in person, but I did see her in the panel, and that was interesting. That was hilarious. That was a really good time.
You can vote along. You can vote for Homer gives birth to himself or
dark techniques.
Soon as humanly possible.
They could do both at the same time. They would work.
Oh. Yeah. Not a quick flash, right? But
that game in a big, audience and a big studio like that was really cool. It was fun. But that was pretty much that. Other than that, there was a lot of moments where the little group that I was hanging out with kind of looked at each other and went, PAX. Because there's just not a ton to do with it. Which is, like I said, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a negative. I'm not going to say that I won't go back to one because of that. But I definitely will focus on it being a people event, like either meeting you guys, meeting fans, or just meeting other industry people that I've met and friends that I've made. So that part of it's really cool. Everybody that I met that I wanted to meet was exactly as cool as I expected them to be. On Saturday, we did have a little meetup. It was not very advertised. As I think we all knew, of the people that were there, it was myself, Anasia, Kurt, Jamie was there, but I don't think it was actually her meetup, and there were some other YouTubers there that were invited that I had no idea who they were. So I was kind of nervous about it because this is going to sound super shallow, but I was nervous that I was going to be like the only one there who nobody knew who I was. But luckily, at least, Yole and Mock were there, and obviously I know Kurt well, and I know Anasia and Jamie now pretty well. So it wasn't like I didn't know anybody there. But there was actually one couple there that I did recognize from over the years. They live in the Texas area, that's why they were there. And that was Z-Car and his wife, I think. I don't remember, but I'm going to say yes. But yeah, I recognized them and I remembered the names, and that was cool. It was kind of the first fan interaction that I've ever had because, like I said, I know Yole very well. I know Mock very well. Well, Mock not as much, but we instantly, it was meeting Mock. I definitely didn't visually represent him right. Like I had him looking much different than he did, but personality-wise, he's just as cool in person as he is on the internets. All right, well, honestly, that's kind of it for PAX itself. We didn't do terribly much. Played a bunch of Overwatch. Well, played as much Overwatch as we could because the itch was there, and they have a ton of PCs where you can play. Watched an Overwatch tournament, or some of it. That was neat. That's the first time I've seen esports in person, and that was pretty cool. Kind of covers it. So let's get to restoring some headlights. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Hi, Les Cube. Hi, Les Cube.
And Les Cube says hi to everyone. All of you.
P500 is what to start with. Well, what do we have on there? I don't know. This is like the polishing one. This is the 3000. Alright, at this point it's just a bunch of me sanding and being noisy, so how about we pick up and post some of the thoughts that I forgot. One of them being the actual city of San Antonio. I was incredibly impressed by this city because it is not as nearly as touristy as I had feared. It's just kind of set up like a cool old town. It's got a cool river walk that is much unlike the river walk that is in Jacksonville. It's on its own level, so it's almost like underground of the city, so you never necessarily have to walk through the city streets to get around in the town. And that is very cool. It makes the city very approachable, and getting around from like hotels to convention centers to restaurants to all the places around was really easy and very cool. So that was one of my favorite parts of the city. There was a ton of really great restaurants. I ate at places that I've never eaten before. I've eaten foods now that I've never eaten before. So that was really cool and a really fun time. There was also one little thing at PAX itself that I forgot to mention, and that was Kurt's Twitch stream. So he's explained it in detail in his wrap-ups of PAX, but from my perspective, that was easily one of the weirdest things I've ever experienced. So you're out in the open, middle of this huge convention center hub thing, all the noise, there's lines, there's people walking by, and here is this cubicle, not in the Twitch area, on the back side of the Twitch area, just sitting there, and there's people in there doing live streams, not to the audience in the PAX, arena or convention center or whatever, just to their own audience. There's a screen showing, just a copy, a mirror image of their main screen, but that's it. It was really weird. I tried to make it as easy on Kurt as I could. Like, I was there to help with the technical stuff, and I don't know. It was pretty weird. I got some video of what it looked like, and if you thought it looked strange on stream, trust me, it was way weirder in person. The setup was pretty sketchy. The fact that it went as smoothly as it did is a miracle. And honestly, one of the most disappointing things for me in general was just kind of how Twitch handles themselves in public settings like that. I was hoping for them to be the opposite of what they appear to be in their internet persona, which is very cold and dead. So I was expecting or hoping that in person, maybe they were a little bit more, personable, fan-centric instead of creator-centric. And they're not. They just really aren't. Their only focus as a company is partners and the subset of partners that they are making the most money off of. And it's a sad thing to say, and it's a very bleak perspective on the company, but that's just the impression that I get, being on the outside. But that was just one of the little quirky things that happened during the convention. All right, well, that's said and done. They're not new by any means, but far less yellowed and took some years off of the car. I would actually suggest getting the do-it-by-hand kit if you have headlights like this. The drill-based one, probably great for flat headlights, but not very good for these. These headlights have 3 concave shapes to them, or convex shapes, or whatever the heck they are. It was something to do. It was cheap. It was a nice little thing to, like I said, take some years off the car, and hopefully it was successful. That will do it, though, for this vlog/PAX recap. I think we left off with that, and you know, PAX was a good experience, and I'm glad I went. Glad I met some really cool people. Didn't really go there for getting gaming insight or anything like that, and that's a good thing because I didn't get any. The trip was awful, and the worst part of it was that I got either a really nasty cold or the flu there, and on the drive home is when I came down with it, and that was an absolutely miserable drive home and a miserable last week. But overall, I do want to thank especially Kurt, Jamie, and Yole for being very welcoming. It was my first convention experience. I was very nervous about it. It's a big social event, you know, and overall, they made it very bearable. They made me feel very welcome, and that was nice. Everyone that was there that I met was great. Met some cool new people that I knew of but didn't really know very well, like Code. So it was a great time. Glad I went. Hopefully we get to do more stuff like that in the future once we get rid of this thing and I have a car that's a little bit more road trip worthy. Then yeah, I would love to do more stuff like that. I hope to see some of you guys out there next time. It would be great, and that will do it. We'll probably be having another vlog this month because there's some other stuff going on that doesn't have to do with PAX or anything like that, but I would like to tell you guys about. But there's something special that has to happen before that happens. We'll tell you there will be a Cone's Garage this month. I am looking to make it a very well-produced Cone's Garage because it's covering something that I think is pretty awesome and undocumented, and that is that we got the methanol injection kit for the 240, and that's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to start diving into that stuff. Thank you all for your support, and I will see you next time.